And as we heard earlier from Ben Sissel, some 400 plus entries Tony Perella has put together this afternoon. This is without doubt one of the biggest championships in terms of numbers anywhere in the world. Fantastic to see, and it's so good to see these older cars still being raced. Some people collect art, we race them. Away we go! So into the first corner they go, everybody jostling for position early on, but a good clean start. I have to say the Rolling Stars do help that, obviously. It's a big difference to be able to do that. And as they go, and everybody just looking for a clean and clear line. These conditions are dry now, but there's going to be the odd wet patch out there, and you've got to be careful on these opening laps not to trip over effectively, come across a wet patch and not being ready for it, and keeping our eye on the competition, but also on the track conditions. And so we'll probably watch carefully on that last race to see who was where. And already the lead is starting to build. I'm just trying to get the timing here. Let you know who exactly is doing what. We've got a good field, strong field here for the Group 6 cars. I'm taking a look at where Scott Borchetta is going to come out. I've been getting to know his racing in the last few weeks because he's been in our E-Championship. So they cross the line then for their first lap. Already the field starting to spread out. We've got some good battles. Corvettes, Camaros, Vipers, you name it. And from various years too, going back to late 70s, early 80s. Some more modern than others. Got a Trans Am car out there, the old already good battles now. Here are the two leaders. And look at the power of the number 9 car. Almost making it past the Porsche number 25. And this is a real battle between Germany and America, isn't it? Sheer Hill's powered by a more delicate, perhaps, constructed Stuttgart Porsche. But either way, it's quick round mid-Ohio. And we've got a full weekend of this, and if you're tuning in and you're watching our live stream, we will be wall-to-wall, quite literally, throughout the weekend, bringing you the action. And the TA race that just went before this one, cracker, no question about it. And I think we're in for a good weekend. Not so sure about the weather. We knew this weather was going to come this afternoon, and we had some rain overnight. And finally, through goes the number 9 and into the lead. Well, it looks as though the conditions now have got to a point where they're able to do flat-out laps here, no question. But the rain has gone, and we've pretty much got a dry track now, which is what they want. Those are powerful cars. Yesteryear. And it's great to wander around the paddock here and see these cars being prepared. Every nook and cranny of the Mid-Ohio circuit paddock is packed with cars. All varying sizes and shapes and years, of course. a battle, I think, for about 5th or 6th place. Back with the graphics now. Borchetta, the man I mentioned earlier, down in 7th place at the moment. Scott Borchetta's got a busy weekend now. He's been a champion in Group 6 already, so this is where he's most comfortable, the man from Tennessee. But he, of course, has gone to the dizzy heights thanks to Edward Savajian, who races in the TO2 class, and he's been getting some extra coaching from Edward. They both took part in the Trans Am Championship, and that was a real eye-opener for Scott, because he put in more laps than anybody else in the championship, and it paid off. Got a couple of top 10s, and I asked him what he hoped to do in real TA2, and he said, if I can stay anywhere near the top 15, top 20, I'll be more than happy, because he said he knows just how good the rest of the field are, and he's coming to this for the first time after a test in Texas just a couple of weeks ago. But here's Scott Borchetta in that number 9. We'll keep it a watchful eye on. And I did get my timing back now. We had a little bit of a jog there, so I couldn't quite tell who was what. But now the Red Dot Cup car of Scott Borchetta is the man, I can confirm is the leader, who took the lead early on over Zach Arnold. Todd Sloan now 3rd place, and Harry Hinkle in 4th. John Higgins in 5th place at the moment. Norm Goodrich in 6th place. Through the first corner comes the 55 of Zach Arnold. Arnold in the blue and silver Corvette, beautifully prepared, and as you can see, the man in front of him is Todd Sloan. Scott Borchetta's checking out, 2.6 seconds now, the gap at the front. As we scroll through, keep an eye on the bottom of your screen to see who's where. I'm doing the same. Down on our timing for a few seconds there, so a bit confusing to start, but not to worry. Now we're catching back up. And looking high above this mid-Ohio circuit, you don't really get to notice that river in the background when you're on the ground, but you can certainly see it very clearly here from our brilliant drone shot. And like we said, Trans Am and SVRA have been coming here a fair few years. Across the line goes the leader. 5 laps in the book. And last time out, a 126.8 by Borchetta, and that is a really quick lap. He's some 3 seconds quicker than Todd Sloan in the Porsche, the GT3 Cup car, and that's no slouch either. So really, really good job so far. Zach Arnold does a 130.5. Harry Hinkle, David Sharp has moved down to 6th place. John Higgins moving up to 5th now. Goldrich down in 8th position. Michael Roger in 9th, and Scott Graham rounds out the top 10. Christopher Zappa, don't know if he's brother of Frank, but anyway, Christopher in 11th place. At the moment, in fact, just moved up to 10 places. They crossed the line now. Back to the second place man. This is Todd Sloan in the number 25. And that is a classic Porsche look. There's no question about it. The German flag emblazoned on the side, and the factory colours, if you will, with Mobil and so on the side of the car. When you see a Porsche racing at the Nürburgring or at Spa, that's what you expect to see sometimes. But the distinctive mark that is Porsche, what a history they've got in motor racing. Reminder, this is our Group 6, Group 10, 12A. Here's your leader. And he really is pushing on. There's your second place. He's just coming out of the carousel as Borchetta heads out. Got a good strong lead on seconds almost at the moment. Zach Arnold still holding on. 7 laps gone. Higgins now moving up the board. He and Aaron Hinkle having a real good ding-dong. Hinkle in the Dodge Challenger against Higgins in the Porsche. Positions a couple of times already. Here they are. There is John Higgins in the Shell, number 39. Second in the 101 GT class. Ken Goldrich also moved up the board. He is now 6th place on the 7th lap. And the time starting to drop too, as everybody's starting to put in the quickest lap. I think the conditions getting better and better as this race goes on. Scott Graham down in 12th position now. Ooh, that's not good. Robert G in the 696 is parked up, but luckily out of the way, and shouldn't slow things down. Shouldn't slow proceedings down as we go back to the second place man, Todd Sloan. Reminded that they have the ability to share their cars in this particular group. So, as well as Scott Borchetta, Jake Boothman is driving in the Dodge Cup car, and he may well be the man at the wheel. Wasn't quite sure as they entered the track who was who in terms of who got the first stint or who got to drive it. So we could see Scott Borchetta in that car too, because they both entered in that car. So I'm seeing Scott Borchetta in 8th position in the Chevrolet Corvette, but I'm also seeing Scott Borchetta in the lead with Jay Buford. So it's one or the other, but I think, yeah, there you see Borchetta Buford, that's your combination. And we have Borchetta at the wheel at the moment, but I'll right the ship when I can. So I'll put Borchetta as well in 7th. Same fella, there's only one of him. Back to the 39. That's John Higgins. He's had a good run so far. Higgins chasing Hinkle, and now Hinkle in traffic. So a good chance now for John Higgins to make up a few more places from above. You can see that traffic quite clearly. Tierpak, Shelton, all the way down. What a big field too. Look, we've got well, 31 entries, that's how big this field is, and it just shows you that people sometimes talk about vintage racing as being something that isn't as exciting or isn't as well followed as many of the other categories of motion. Sheer numbers speak for themselves. Tony Morella's 400 plus cars here this weekend, and that's pretty impressive given the economic downturn of the last few months and what's going on around the world. To be able to put this kind of field together is impressive just alone. So this is the first race of their weekend. They'll get to be back out again as we look at the number 9. Tom Lutz in the number 9A. There's 2 9s out there at the moment. And that was Michael Oringer that was out stuck on the track, the 969 that was parked up a moment ago. And I don't think it's going anywhere. But the Borchetta Buford car still leading with 9 laps gone. Sloan still second. The gap 8 seconds. So a healthy gap. And as soon as the Cup car got the lead, he never looked back, and he's maintained that lead. So it's Borchetta, Buford, Sloan, Arnold, Hinkle, Higgins. They're still battling in 4th. Arnold still 3rd. Goldrich now up to 6th place. He's got ahead of Sharp. David Sharp in 7th place. So the sun's out, but it's starting to brighten up nicely. Just what we wanted at this time of the day. And looking across to the crowd starting to form on the grandstands across the way. Starting to enjoy their weekend out here. A lot of campers and RVs parked around the woods here of mid-Ohio to enjoy this vintage racing. And the beauty of SVRA, I would have said that the most enticing part of this series is where they race. All the classic tracks. Watkins Glen to Indianapolis, here mid-Ohio, Road America, and of course this year we will end up at Laguna Seca in December. It looks like at the moment we are pegged to go to Laguna Seca at the beginning of December, and while many of you around the world may think you can't race in December, well, you can in California. You'll be fine there in Monterey. So that's where we'll end up, we hope, at the end of the season. Coming to the end of this now, and it looks as though Borchetta and Buford are going to take victory here in their Group 6 effort with the red Dodge Cup car from the 70s. Todd Sloan will take 2nd place in the GT3 Porsche. And as we file through, everybody coming towards that checkered flag, it looks as though Zach Arnold will take 3rd place in the Corvette. And everybody just making a last gasp here to take that checkered flag. That's some good tight battles in the midfield for sure. But it's Borchetta and Buford who take the win. And away to the crowd. And there's plenty of them. You can't see them here at Mid-Ohio. It's really hard sometimes. You can see on the banking sometimes on this part of the circuit, on the back end. It's usually a good crowd up there, and there is again today. But a lot of the crowd kind of, you see the RVs parked along the fence there and into the woods. So it's quite deceptive to see the crowd. There's a good strong crowd here, and you only have to go and see the car park. Once we get our overhead shot again, we might see it. But there's the number 9 waving to the crowd. Harry Hinkle putting on a good show. And they'll be out again. No damage, I don't think, which is a really good news for the conditions, because at the start of the race it was definitely a little bit patchy. But as you can see from above, now you start to see that crowd. You can see the crowd down there looking on the banking. And so just sort of dotted around the woods and just get in the shade. Get very hot here. It's been mid-80s throughout most of the weekend. We had a lot of rain overnight, and we're expecting more to come this afternoon. But a good result then for Borchetta and Buford in Group 6, Group 10 and 12A. That's the groups we had in action just a moment ago. Coming up, we've got more feature racing coming up from Group 2 and 9. And then we've got the Miata Heritage Cup, the Kastner Cup, which is a great one. You won't want to miss. It's all triumphs. And then the S2000 Lolas will be in action. That'll be followed by Group 1, 3 and 4, IGT and TA2 qualifying at the end of the day. So plenty more action to come. Stay with us here on the live stream. We hope you're enjoying your coverage of SVRA and Trans Am.